Good morning, everybody. You can't make this shit up, folks.
What the hell's going on here?
Well, John finally decided to turn on the stream. That's what he finally decided to do.
Hello,
anyway, welcome.
Hello. I got the flip with me today. Hello.
Should give the flip phone to John. It might work better. Anyway, welcome to what show are we on? Thoughts Count Anywhere. Coming to you live from WWDBTV. If you don't know where to find us, fuck it, because I ain't repeating it a second time. Anyway, Matt, Chief, Thomas is back, the historian. We think we have a producer behind the board. We're not really sure. The video stream will come up in a couple of minutes. It will kick on. It'll kick on in a few. Don't worry about that. Remember a delay. We have a delay coming out of the studio. It'll show up. Give it a second. Matt, real quickly, how's your week been?
It's been good. It's been warm, so the bums on Fremont are a little crazier, and they get a little more angry, so there's a little more action to get rid of them. And if you want a story time, I got a bunch.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to getting that kicked off momentarily. Chief, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing well. Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right. Mr. Historian, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good
morning, Jason. How you doing, Jason? Good morning, Brandy.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you out there. You're ready to go after a month and a half off?
Yeah.
Ronald was ready to step in for you, but he's been doing good.
Hey, where is my man?
He'll be there. You know, Gary Galaxy's keeping him busy as they get close to their show in a week or so, right?
Yes.
So
Anyway, I'll be announcing it.
We are at full strength. By the way, we have a special guest coming up here in the first hour. We have the second coming of Ivan Putski coming on our show later after the first break.
And for you people that don't know
Look
who
it up.
that is, that's the Polish Power.
With the Polish hammer. Mike Brown, he is a co-owner of a company called Advanced Development LLC, and his company actually helps people stay healthy, be healthy, and doing it the right way with relying less on basically big pharma, more or less, right? So this is not a guest you want to miss. If you do miss part of it, though, you can go back to the WWDBTV Facebook and YouTube channels, the Thoughts Count Anywhere Facebook and YouTube channel, or you can also go to Roku and download the WWDB-TV network and check all that out. Good morning, Brandy. Good morning. Ronald is in there. There you go, everybody but Thomas. So let the fun begin. Jennifer out in Hawaii, good morning.
Good morning,
gentlemen.
Jen.
Are we ready to rock and roll? We got so much to do. Some draft or something last night.
Is my girlfriend here?
Jennifer?
Hey, good morning,
Yeah,
Jen.
she is out there. For sure she is.
Good morning, Jen.
What people may have forgotten with that big NFL something draft is that there was a big WWE draft starting last night. We'll get to that a little later on. But first, as always, what is Thoughts Count Anywhere without what, Chief?
I hear voices.
No. What goes on before that? Story time with Matt. Here we go.
And now here is your storytelling host, Matt Mullen, the Mr. Rogers of the Fremont Street neighborhood. Take it away, Matt. What's happening in the neighborhood?
Boy, if the police really looked that good, there'd be no criminals
She's
anywhere.
befuddled.
So yesterday, it was 4:30, and my night guy gets there at 4, but he was running late. So I was waiting for him, and I get a phone call, and they're like, hey, this guy's acting real weird by the escalators. So I go over there, and our night guy's like pulling up, and I was like, hey, meet me by the escalators when you get out of the car. And I go over to this guy, and I was like, hey, bro, you got to get up. They got to move along. Can't sit over here. He was like, F you. And I was like, not today. Get out. And he gets up and just starts swinging at me. And I was all like, really? I ducked the first two. And I was like, do you really want to do this today? And he was like, I'm on fentanyl. I don't care. And takes another swing. So I grab my pepper spray and I spray him. And it doesn't really do anything. And he keeps coming at me. And I was like, bro, the next one's going to hurt. I would just leave if I were you. And then he caught the business end of a taser.
Oh, zappity-doo-dah, zappity-yay. My goodness.
And then he somehow like made it into the street. And then I like Roman Reigns speared him in the middle of Las Vegas Boulevard.
Total voltage?
A lot.
Yes.
How many volts do those things carry?
A
The one
lot.
that you carry?
I think it's like 1.3 million. Something
That's
like
a lot.
Yeah, that's
A lot.
Yeah.
I told you a lot.
That's a lot.
Why don't
Yeah.
you listen to me?
That's a lot.
Because
But we
Well,
just
because you're
want
befuddled today.
I
So I don't,
am befuddled.
everyone the actual number.
Hey,
that's right.
good morning, Ronald Young, everybody except Thomas Burnett. I got you. All right, yes.
Any others? Because you sound like you had a couple, like just before we hit the air. It sounds like really downtown was getting squirrely. Or
And
is
there
that
was
the big
another
one?
guy who was like trying to run around Heart Attack Grill and grab people's food. And we have like this big, like high-end bar now that's kind of tall. And he tried to like grab me. So I literally just threw him over the whole thing. He got like Royal Rumbled right over.
All right. Falls did count anywhere there, didn't it? Excellent. Well, that's good stuff.
He had a heart attack, did he?
No.
No.
Might have had a panic attack while he was in the middle of the air.
Clean up on aisle 3. Can we get new diapers over here, please? Anyway, good stuff.
All right,
I love
all
the
right.
stories because it makes us realize what a good life we have. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
All right, we have a lot to go on, so let's get started with some rumors with the segment called
I hear voices.
If you would have said story time with Matt, I'd have just left.
Damn, I should have done that. Son of a gun.
All right, let's get rocking and rolling. Rumor is WWE is considering doing a brand split for pay-per-views. I'm not saying that on there because I refuse to recognize it as a premium live event pay-per-view. Good idea or not, gentlemen?
Bad.
What the hell's a PLE?
Premium live event.
Oh,
I'll talk
okay.
slower. You listen faster because I did explain that once. Man, his befuddled level is really high today. Do we have anything to help befuddlement?
And I even took my medicines.
Not
And I
Here,
even
smoke this.
and I even took my medicines this morning. So
I asked Mike if he has something. He could help you, but he's got nothing with him. So
foot up the ass.
whatever works. So brand split shows, gentlemen. You said no.
I
Why?
said no.
Why?
It didn't work the first time years ago, and people were complaining back then like we are now.
Okay.
To have the roster.
Okay.
They want to take the brand split seriously. I guess it'll be a good idea just to affirm that the rosters are actually split and not
Mhm.
just a ratings ploy to be like, oh, they dropped a little. Let's throw all these people on this show.
Go, Chief.
Is it to make money? More money?
I would say it depends on who's on the show, but they have both now on one show, right? And WrestleMania 39 was the best ever. So does the split really matter?
No.
But I think if you want to take it seriously, you hit the first point is that if they want to have this brand split mean something, yes. As long as Vince McMahon's involved, means nothing. I think Triple H would have had a better success if he were truly running creative without any outside interference, so to speak. That maybe the brand split.
Excuse me, gentlemen. You
Yeah.
need to read the screen.
You do. Stop the presses. Stop the presses.
Oh, can we screenshot that? We got to screenshot that sucker.
I will screenshot that and save it.
All right, we have to post that. Mark today's date, captain's log, and all that stuff.
Holy
I think in seriousness, though, if Triple H are running it purely by himself, because I think we'd all agree he's not to some degree, right?
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
them.
I think would have a greater chance of succeeding staying split like the brand. But with
True.
what's his name still keeping his hand in things remotely, it's not going to work.
No.
Not going to work. So
Very true.
So we're gonna do so if we go back to split branded pay-per-views, what are we gonna do with Money in the Bank?
have one for each brand. You have to have that show might have to
Well,
be an exception.
That's
Yeah.
what they used to do. There was
Oh,
like
yeah.
a red briefcase and a blue
Right.
briefcase at one point.
Right.
Well,
For each
with
brand.
with two championships now, it looks like it's going to have two champions.
That's a whole nother night of
then,
discussion.
Yeah.
then you could have a
Yeah.
red briefcase and a blue briefcase. Yeah, absolutely. That.
right.
See.
But what I'm saying, I
I'm
know,
listening.
yeah, I know about the two briefcases, but
Hello.
His flip phone.
You'll have a red briefcase that'll be somewhat useful, and a blue briefcase that'll be the most useless thing you can carry
It'll become a
around
paper,
an airport.
it'll become a paperweight. That's about it for that
Basically.
brand.
I would cash in with the blue briefcase. Say, hey, this says anytime, anywhere. Doesn't say that the champion has to be in the building. He doesn't show up, forfeit.
Who are you talking about?
If they
Roman?
do two briefcases, yeah, with Roman. If they don't,
Oh.
if they do two briefcases.
The only way you're beating Roman is if you can cash in while he's sleeping somehow.
Well, that's what that's what he's talking about. But interesting idea. We'll see what happens. And if they do that, the draft ends Monday, correct?
Yes.
And we're going to get into some of the decisions on the draft and how they apply to some of the championships. When would the brand split draft take effect? Thereby, when would it start affecting pay-per-views if they separate the pay-per-views? And does that mean 2 per month, or there's one every
Yeah.
month, but each brand has one every other month.
That's how they used to
Yeah,
do it.
that's how
Every
they
other
used
month.
to do it.
Every other month, yeah, they alternate.
And we know with creative, it's very difficult to keep stories long if your name's not the bloodline
Mhm.
for more than a couple of minutes. So could they keep a story on long enough for at least 2 months to get to the next alternating show for
they kept
themselves?
Sheamus and the Gunther story for a while. They kept that going.
hmm
So
But they were on their own. They were on their own brand
Well, yeah.
with monthly shows.
yeah,
So
They definitely can. It's just creative writing just gonna have to
step it up.
step it up a little bit. But
we'll see what happens.
if AEW can hold off like storylines every 3 months, I'm sure WWE can figure out too relatively easy.
Well, Jason says believes that everything will fall into place after Backlash next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
that's when
possible.
everything will start. After
The only difference between WWE that AEW does not have when it comes to storyline is 3 simple letters:
It works.
VKM.
Mhm.
Now, not that TK isn't better, because we have all talked about him being a mark for wrestling and whatnot, but they have a better job and an easier job of keeping storylines moving because they really don't have that outside interference. But time will tell. Item number 2. Rumor is that Minneapolis is being rumored as the home for WrestleMania 41. Did they already had it up there in the years past, didn't they?
No,
Minneapolis,
never in Minneapolis, never in
I
Minnesota.
thought
No.
they did. Okay.
No, like after I was like put it on the thing, I was reading more into it. They basically just sent a representative from Minneapolis to LA to like want to put their name in the hat.
Gotcha.
Would somebody from Vegas better have been there to
Yeah.
put their name in the hat?
Yeah.
Where the hell? Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
helping
like,
you.
really?
I'm helping you.
I'm going to get up and slap shit out of you in a minute.
I got my bodyguard back here.
That don't stop me. You know better.
Got your back.
Where the hell would they?
With the Vikings,
Where at in Minnesota?
the Viking Stadium.
the
There's
Viking
this
Stadium.
gigantic stadium where the Vikings play.
And it's indoors,
How many
so
people?
73,000 they can fit.
it's not bad.
That's not bad. It's almost as good as Wembley. Okay, all right. I just wanted. To
I think one has a lot better capacity to fill it.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Now so do you think
They
that's a
both
good
know
location?
to use black curtains, though.
Who has?
The companies.
Yes, but I think as we saw it last week, I don't know if you guys talked about it, they showed a diagram
Did
where
we talk-
half of Wembley
Yeah.
is already going to be
Yeah.
covered, that they're going to max out
Because
at what,
of the
65,000 people
Yeah.
instead of the 100.
Because of the stage.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how many seats will be left. I mean, you had a good idea
Yeah.
of being at SoFi about floor seating and how much space that ramp takes up.
A lot.
So how many seats could, from the floor where there's normally not seats for a football game,
Exactly.
anything on the floor is extra, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if they
Yes.
black out a section because of the ramp, won't be so terrible. So what do you say, 70,000?
73,000, yeah.
So if they get 70,000 because they don't put the extra 3,000 out, still not
It's still
bad.
not
And we'll
bad.
still beat Wembley Stadium because we now know it's going to max of what, 60,000 roughly?
That's
Probably,
what they're
yeah.
That's what we saw.
I
So,
think.
and we were all
But
right in the
still,
ballpark
you know
about
what?
that, right?
That's-
For AEW.
But you know what? 60, 70, that's not bad.
No, absolutely.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That-
For AEW, you're talking about in
Right.
Wembley,
Either
or
one.
Yeah.
That's if it comes to fruition that
that's 2 3-syllable words in the first
that
15
it
minutes.
comes to they do go to Minnesota, Minneapolis. Why don't you come to Vegas, you dumb shits?
Well, that's why Matt was hoping and thinking, as we all were.
Vince, are you listening to the Chiefs today? If you are,
Not 3 times.
will you send WrestleMania to Las Vegas, please? We've got the stadium. Okay, it can be done.
We need more
There's
parking, though.
plenty of hotels, plenty of parking. We can shuttle people in. They can walk across the street to Allegiant Stadium, no problem. They can go to Tropicana, find a hook. I mean, no, I didn't say that.
They can find a hookup for a ride.
They can
Thank
find
you.
one of Godfather's lady friends.
That's right. I listen. I think we would all be in agreement. I think we would that at some point WrestleMania will be coming here. Would you not? I mean, they had
I would hope
yeah,
so.
for
you
sure.
had
Big
SummerSlam
stadium.
here, right?
You know,
Yeah.
I got it. And I'm going to say this honestly. I had the privilege of seeing one. Okay.
WrestleMania.
I want to see one more out here.
Mhm.
Okay.
I've never been. It would be great if it's
Oh,
here.
God.
So
All I know as far as WWE filling stadiums, their tarp rentals were approximately $0 at WrestleMania 39.
there you go.
It was sold out behind the stage. Like you couldn't even see the stage, and there was a massive amount of people there.
It's crazy.
If they were to do it the right way, okay, and they could hook up from Allegiant over to T-Mobile and do a closed circuit at T-Mobile.
Wow. There's a couple of words from 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea. I would love it.
And then they got the big screen
Outside.
outside. Shh. I'd take
The only
my
thing-
beach chair down.
The only thing is, though, would they sell tickets to watch it just outside? Because if you're selling tickets to go inside to watch and they're going to put on the outside screen, why would you want to run it inside to sell tickets when people can set up for free to watch it outside?
Yeah.
Oh, no, charge outside.
Okay. That's why I'm asking.
A nominal fee.
Nominal.
A nominal fee. You right there?
It's another 3 words.
Chiefs on the
You
road.
got any more? Because I got to go to break, so we can
No,
bring
go
Mike
to
up.
break. Go to break.
All right, you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Cut.
A lot going on, but
Yeah.
next coming up, Mr. Mike Brown, co-owner of Advanced Development LLC. He is here to share how he can help your life be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Don't go anywhere, otherwise Chief's going to hunt you down in Kendall State. We'll be right back.
He's a svelte.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. These are my new tag team partners, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, aka Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Simple Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere. This is Impact Wrestling's Dashing Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Hi, I'm Sean Tavares. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition.
Hey, we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere, because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
All right, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. I know Ronald Young is watching now. He's going to say the ratings are going to go up because Thomas Burnett is no longer on the set with us. He's been replaced by a gentleman that makes us all look really out of shape right now, except for Ivan Putski. This is our second coming of Ivan, the Polish Hammer. Mr. Mike Brown, co-owner.
How you guys doing, everybody?
Advanced Development. We're doing great, man. Thank you for coming into Vegas
Thank
from our
you guys for
hometown,
having me.
Chief.
It's a very warm welcome.
He's from our hometown of Jersey. That's.
I don't know. Am I
That's
supposed to be proud of that?
You should be.
State.
I should be.
You should
Okay. I am actually very
I
proud of it. I don't know how other people usually take it.
Well, Matt usually refers to it as the armpit of America. But,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, and I usually can't hide it anyway. Wherever I go, it's New Jersey or New York. I get it right away.
Did you realize, though, that New Jersey is the only state you can drop the word new and people still know where you're from? Think about that.
Hampshire?
What does that mean? York,
Pennsylvania.
Mexico, Dakota, Carolina. Well, that's north and south. But see, New Jersey. You say Jersey, people know. Jersey Shore.
Just move along.
I'm trying to. Yes, sir.
Mexico.
Anyway, right. Anyway, Mike,
Yes.
welcome. Listen, before we get into what the company does,
Yes.
it's important, I think, for all of us and our viewers. How did you get into health and well? Obviously, you take great care of your body. How did you get into this? What was your aha moment for you, knowing that this was something you wanted to share with others to be healthy?
Okay.
We only have an hour show, so just just kidding.
No.
You gonna flex against me? His forearm is bigger than your leg.
Relax, man. Relax.
Tag team?
Relax. I'll take him. You could just go 2-on-1. I'll wait over here.
I should brought a kendo stick.
I gotta say, I mean, I think I've always really been into fitness and working out, even like as a little kid, more so than sports. I was involved into, the training involved and just overall seeing what I'm capable of physically. And as it already became something I was naturally into later in life, I found it helped a lot of ways, in regular life too, just the things you could translate over that you have to do to push yourself in the gym or in training or to progress in anything, really translate that over to life. But also, just to, I really exercise for the mind, man. It's more so my therapy.
Stress reliever kind
Oh
of, right?
yeah. I work out first thing in the morning as soon as I wake up. I wake up really early, not by choice. People think I'm like really dedicated. I wake up to work out. It's just that I'm awake. And I used to just try to lay there and go to sleep or wake up at an appropriate time. But then all of a sudden I would start thinking about things. Right. And now when it's time to get up, my mind's already in a mindset of things that I thought about and not what actually that day is going to have. So now I just succumb to that. Dude, you're going to wake up at like 4 to 4:30. So get to the gym and do your thing. And then by the time, I'm quote unquote would try to wake up at a more preferable time a little bit later. I've already pushed myself through a workout. I've done something harder than I'm going to do throughout the whole day. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it gets my mind right for the day. So
guys, nothing?
No.
Okay.
How about you? What time of day do you work out?
I get up at 5:30 in the morning.
And that's his workout, just getting up out of
bed. And then I get dressed and I go out and I walk my mile.
There you go.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, that's amazing.
With my neuropathy on my feet. So it's okay.
I wonder if a certain company might have something that can help neuropathy.
Well, that brings up a good point. And
that's why I brought it up.
No, but that brings up a good point that, the human body's meant for movement. So working it and exercising it is different for everybody. Right. A lot of people, for example, you don't really have to go anywhere for anything. Right. And you could order food and it gets brought to your door.
Yep.
And then you eat it. You know what I mean? Right. So
cancel my lunch order, John. Will you please?
That, my friend, is called laziness.
Exactly.
And the pandemic brought that on and really heightened all of that.
It did. And not only that, but people don't think, for example, his mile walk in the morning. Walking is exercise. That's that. I mean, that actually will burn a significant amount of body fat off your body and everything just by walking. Steady state cardio is how you burn body fat, keeping your heart rate somewhere. So like going for a walk is great exercise. And people overlook it. As soon as they think working out or exercise, they think taking a huge part of their time out of their day, trying to fit in the schedule and getting a gym membership and doing all this stuff. But you just got to move.
We have a question in the chat room from Tom Crawford, who's a guy who's been known to lift a few weights here and there, right? He wants to know which gym do you work out? Now, keep in mind, Thomas, he's from Jersey, so the gym and place he works out is not out here. But where do you work out?
So various gyms. In New Jersey, I would say Signature Fitness is one of my main gyms. Okay. Ironbound Fitness. Signature Fitness is in Belleville, New Jersey. Right. Ironbound Fitness is in Newark, New Jersey.
Because that's the Ironbound section in Newark, man. I was born in Newark.
So it's right on Ferry Street.
That's right.
Yeah, so those are two bigger gyms I go to. I do frequent a Retro Fitness. But I bounce around, man. I like to change up the atmosphere. That plays a role in my workouts too. But while I was out here, we'll get into advanced development and all that. But part of me being out here is to go to various gyms and kind of educate the people on what we're doing and, get the word out there. So while I've been in Las Vegas, we went to LBAC, the one in Northwest, the one in Southwest, one in Henderson. I think we're going to Henderson again today. I'm at the Dragon's Lair. And then I'm hitting up Fit Club, LV.
CrossFit? What's your thoughts on CrossFit?
I owned a CrossFit for 10 years.
Did you? So obviously you like it.
I like the
high intensity stuff.
So the issue with CrossFit is that in the beginning when it blew up, it was very simple to open one up. Right. And then it also opened up a new niche for people to become a personal trainer in a specific part. And, that's really the type of training that's involved in CrossFit is super technical. I mean, you're talking about Olympic lifting, meaning these are the movements that they test the best athletes in the world that lift weights how to do. So there's a lot of technique involved. And then not only doing it once or twice, but doing it at a high rep and most of the time at a high rate because you're racing a clock. So the issue of CrossFit is the injury thing everybody brings up. But it actually will prevent a lot of injuries if you take your time to learn and do them correctly because it's functional movement. So it's actually going to prevent injuries because your body's going to be more functional. But to learn how to do the functions is really was the missing part in a lot of the places. So I feel like it's great as long as you have the proper guidance and also take your time to break up the different areas of CrossFit and not just CrossFit, you know, see what it is you need to work on and pinpoint it so that when you do the CrossFit style workouts, CrossFit is a style of a workout.
Right.
But there's elements in it, and you should be practicing them all before you bring them all together.
I as you saw my pictures I showed you before we went on the air, I started doing CrossFit in 2018. I love it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it because of the environment.
Well, here's one more thing. The benefit about CrossFit was I would get clients that would walk in and, you know, they would have a goal, and the goal is usually losing weight or, you know, gaining muscle, this, that, and the third, whatever it may be. And you know, 2-3 weeks in the CrossFit, their goals are, I got to get that box jump that I missed. I don't want to climb to the top of the rope. And the thing is, their goals change, and there's something that you can assess every day and do things to work towards instead of looking in the mirror and being upset every day because you're not going to see results every day that way.
I'm so glad you said that.
But if you start getting better in something that you're assessing every day and you can see it, guess what? You finally got up that rope. But you know what? You're probably starting to look like the person you wanted to because that's the version of you that can get up the rope.
I could not jump rope until I started doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's just single unders. But now
and I bet a lot of aesthetics changed in the process from you not being able to being able to.
Absolutely.
You know, and also just it incorporates the mind body connection way more because it's movements you have to learn as opposed to just do. So.
Sure, absolutely. Chief?
Before we start talking about why you're really out here, are there different, as we get older, are there different types of exercises and different types of things we should do for our bodies? Like I'm 70, okay? So I'm slowing down a little, okay? It's just normal, it's age. But are there good exercises? Are there good vitamins? Are there things that as we get older, we should be doing that a lot of us aren't doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think people start to ask that question a little too late, and they're things that you should always be doing. And then as you start them earlier in your life, you could adapt as needed as you go instead of figuring things out all at once later when your body has gone through these adaptations without your awareness anyway. So now you're catching up to what you've already been naturally evolving into. So, I mean, yeah, you have to adapt as you go. You know, there's different stages of your life. There's different chapters of your life, and there's different stages your body's going to go through in development. You know, it's just the human body has been here forever. People look for certain secrets to do certain things. And the whole thing is your body is a system that's set up a certain way to keep you alive. And that system's going to run whether you're aware of it or not. It's going to do it. When you don't sit here and think like, all right, let me breathe. You know,
exactly.
It's just
That's
doing it.
it.
So
Yes,
there's the thing is, if you want to get a result, figure out how your body works and then manipulate that system. Like, you know, people want to lose body fat and lose weight. Well, how about you figure out how it accumulates and what body fat actually is? You know what I mean? And then from there, you know, that's the secret pill.
And I use light weights, but I use them every day.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's yeah. I mean, lightweight. So again, even when it comes to weight, a lot of people in a gym. I mean, weight is a great way to distinguish progression. It's also a good way to add intensity, but weight is just an intensity technique. There's plenty of intensity techniques. Your body cannot read the number on the weight and know that you're going heavier. If you take that light weight and you go super fucking slow, okay, curse.
Yeah. We're not the FCC doesn't touch us here.
Yeah, so,
fuck yeah, you can curse if you have to.
Perfect. So, you know, if you grab a weight, X amount of weight,
right,
and it's heavy, and you can get like 3 or 4 reps,
right?
I mean, that's great. If you grab a weight that's half the weight, a way to go slow so that you can't get 3 or 4, right? So you get 3 or 4 reps just like you did with the other weight. Your body's still under some kind of, maybe it's, you know, a little bit more weight on this one. The other one's more time under tension per rep, but in the end, your body is just under resistance. So, if you're somebody who was pretty strong back in the day and, you're just trying to get back to where you were lifting, go through a different route and, go lighter so that your body doesn't take the beating, but also, still keep the intensity there by doing different speeds. Obviously, if you used to take 300 pounds and do this with it, you know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, I can only do that with 135 right now. Okay, we'll slow that 135 down. It's going to feel just like that 300 pounds. You know what I mean? And that's just one aspect. I mean, there's so many intensity techniques, but weight is not the only one. So
well said on that.
Thank you for
absolutely
answering that. I appreciate that.
You mentioned injuries in CrossFit. I've had one. Tricep dips off the bench, tore my rotator cuff and ligaments. But would you just mention to Chief about the weight? I have a single rep of a deadlift of 285. But then you get away from it because of how CrossFit cycles through. Now it's like if I lift 225, it's like 2 million pounds because of what you just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's knowing how to manipulate your body so your muscles are made of muscle fibers.
Right.
There's different types of muscle fibers. You have to work both in order for it to get stronger as a whole.
Right.
Some are more fast twitch dominant, some are more slow twitch, whatever it may be.
Right.
You have them both. Even whatever one you dominate, it doesn't matter. The dominant one's not going anywhere without the other one.
Absolutely. Let me just do a quick reset. Everybody, you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in Las Vegas. Normally, you'd be seeing the Chiefs rant. We're going to push that off hopefully to the second hour, so you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. That was the voice from beyond. Joining us today is Mr. Mike Brown. Well, stick around, you may.
I'm gonna get up and smack shit out of him in a minute. Man.
Go for it. As long as we got somebody else who can push the buttons, do what you got to do.
Yeah, and also face the camera that way so the people.
I'll grab the camera and we'll get it on video.
Mike is co-owner of Advanced Technology LLC, and he is here. What did I say? Advanced technology. Right. See,
sure.
I knew we'd slip it in there. Advanced development. Sorry about that. I'm befuddled like Chief is. Anyway, let's get to it. So you're in Vegas. You are here in Vegas for a purpose because Advanced Development offers some cool stuff, and let's talk about it.
Okay. So Advanced Development LLC is a peptide therapy treatment that we offer pretty much nationwide. So how it started was we have medical offices on both the East Coast and West Coast, being in New Jersey and here in Las Vegas. So through those practices, we focus on IV vitamin therapies, hormone replacement, stem cells, regenerative medicine, non-opioid pain management, different techniques for that, and so on and so forth. So basically wellness and, taking care of yourself. A big part of our population is athletes. Fortunately, it's the medical. So because of HIPAA, I can't mention names, but WWE,
well-known.
UFC, right. Lots of pro boxers, a good amount.
Some guy with big hands, I think, is one of their, right? Big hands?
Very big.
Come get these, Anyway, without saying names. Go ahead. Sorry, I digress.
Saying enough. But so amongst those treatments, so I'm based out of our Jersey office.
Right.
And, they come in, they do a series of assessments, and then we develop a protocol for them. Amongst that protocol, recently, we introduced peptides. So I can't put an exact year on it, but let's say 3 or 4 years, they've been a little popular on the black market.
Okay.
All right. They kind of got grouped in with SARMs and peptides and all these things, although those are two totally different things. They're available illegally online, and you would be able to just click on a bottle, pick what you want. It would say for research purposes only, or, not for human consumption. And they would just send it to you. No consult with anybody. It's not prescribed by a medical physician. It's not compounded in a pharmacy.
Right.
It's not specific milligrams per milliliter to help you.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's a bottle of whatever they're selling. I don't know what it could be, but so yeah,
it's a bottle of good luck.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary if you think about it, to be honest. But it's also created, an abundance of information online about peptides that is based off of that. So there's that battle with it too. But long story short, they are super helpful. So I'll get into what a peptide is in a second. But we started the treatments in the office that we have in New Jersey, which, incorporates perfectly into the regimens that we do. Like I said, with IV vitamin therapy, hormone replacement, hormone balancing, and all that. Peptides fit into that well. So obviously having an office in Las Vegas as well, we were trying to do the peptides over here. It caught on pretty quickly. We were affiliated with other offices in New Jersey, so it caught on over there. And then we realized we're, East Coast and West Coast. We're utilizing these peptide therapies, people are getting great results. Again, like I said, we work with general population as well, but a lot of athletes. So we're providing these treatments, and they're not just sitting there when they go home. They're putting them to the test, and they're seeing results. So we're helping people on the East Coast and West Coast. There's all these states in between, and there's nothing stopping us from helping all of them. So instead of using our individual offices, and doing peptides out of there, as well as me being in New Jersey, and also within New Jersey, I can't travel to all the offices. I'm doing a lot of this consulting over the phone, via Zoom.
Telemedicine, is that the phrase that's being used around?
Yeah. It's kind of like that. I mean, it's a little different because we do most of them are in office, but we have access to. Again, this is April 5th. We started the LLC. Not started peptide therapy. We were doing it in the office for a while before that. But as far as it being its own entity, April 5th, so it's very recently. But the reason being is, I can hop on a call with somebody, consult with them about what it is they're looking for as a result, talk to them about the certain peptide treatments that could help with dosing and things like that, so we can get it down to exactly, what it's going to be, what it's going to cost, how they're going to administer it. And then our medical director, Dr. Angelo Caprio, he'll prescribe it out to our compounding pharmacy. It'll be made to order to exactly your specific needs.
Sure.
And then, once again, if you're local, you can come to our office and pick it up, and I can go over everything with you. Or if not, we get on another phone and do a consult exactly while the stuff's in front of you, help you do whatever needs to be done to set it up, or administer yourself, and we just go from there.
Before the show, you gave before we went on the air, you gave a great, very brief, single sentence description of what peptide is, so the chief was able to understand it, right among the rest of us.
And that says something. Chief can understand it.
So why don't you share what you said to Chief, so that people who are not familiar with this, what peptide treatment is?
So I don't remember the exact phrase I said, but pretty much if I could put it all in, again, this is an extensive thing. So if there's a body function, then there's a peptide for it.
Okay.
Just think about how many different things you could do.
Sure.
Right. So peptides, as opposed to taking a medication, like a synthetic medication, where you take the medicine and the medicine creates the result. These are peptides. So they're codes of amino acids with different numbers and letters and different amounts of them. And what you're doing is you're administering that code, that peptide, that amino chain to your body to make the body function that produces the result optimized. So now your body's actually creating the result, as opposed to the medication you're taking creating the result.
Okay. Is there any, prior to the consultation with you, where you get on the phone to talk to people, is there any pre-testing, pre-qualification that you go through to make sure that that is what somebody needs?
Well, we definitely do go through an extensive questionnaire where we find at least some base information on them. But also, dependent upon that questionnaire, we could have to go a little bit further. Again, there's hundreds of peptides. So I'm talking about, if you want your skin tanner, we can give you a peptide for that. If you want cognitive function to retain information, there's a peptide.
Damn, I might need that.
Everybody just pointed to Chief right there.
Yeah. No,
Mike didn't even have to finish that sentence. John was already three syllables ahead of the rest of the sentence.
Listen, peptides apply to everybody. So there is.
Sorry, brother.
No, you're good. You're good. I actually will talk after. I'll order you.
First step to recovery, so it's admitted we have a problem.
That's very true.
One day at a time. One day at a time.
That's
Absolutely.
right, youngster.
Absolutely.
So there is they go to the battery test to find the match,
it depends on what it is you're trying to, utilize the treatment for. I mean, there's things that are very basic, and then there's other things where you're going to try to, send a signal to a certain body function. So it's optimized, and therefore your body's all connected internally. So if you're going to optimize one area, you have to think ahead on everything else is going to try to catch up. So, you got to really analyze what it is you're trying to get out of it. There's some peptides where, simple consultation and questions, we can help you out with your treatment. Other ones, we might need blood work.
Sure.
Some of them we might need, somebody with insulin sensitivity, things like that. I mean, we can't just go shipping the medication.
Before we totally run out of time, contact information, how people can reach out to you.
So you can reach out to me via text. That's the best way. Again, I'm in different time zones here. So
Remember, 3 hours.
That's right. It's yesterday for him now today.
Oh my gosh, you don't even know what we went through. So we hit the ground running. We have a series of gym events that we're doing, like I said earlier, and we got here Wednesday, and then but our flight got 2 hours delayed in Newark, so we were stuck in New Jersey for 2 extra hours. So we were supposed to get straight to an event, which therefore we had to change the time and push back because we were to get here later. So then when we got here, now we're already up early and then time traveled on the plane, and now it's 3 hours earlier. So we lost 3 hours there. Now we're rushing and going straight from the airport to the gym event. We did that, and then we had a plethora of meetings after that. So
plethora.
Yeah.
Well, AJ was telling me when he called me the other day.
Yeah, I think we were up. I think we were up for a solid 26, 27 hours, and then once we finally got to go to sleep, since that time change happened, and we were really 3 hours early, it was. I mean, I've maybe been getting like 3 to 4 hours of sleep since I've been.
Do they have peptide for jet lag?
It's funny. Anything you ask, I'm probably gonna say, "Hey, I have a peptide for that." Yeah, it's so.
It must have been JetBlue screwing over.
Yeah, it was frustrating, but
so text number. What's the text number?
With that 862-400-8703. Again,
8703.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, just simply shoot me a text. Let me know that you heard about the peptide therapy on the podcast, and from there, we'll do a consult. We'll hop on a phone. We'll talk about what it is you're trying to get out of it. Again, so I know this is a lot of people who are into, WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it. There's there he is. I should put him on.
But say hello and put him on speaker. His partner
AJ.
What's up, Alex?
What's up, brother? Listen,
No.
I got you live on the air right now.
What's up, pal?
Good morning, AJ, Aaron, Chief, and Matt here.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're just we're trying to control Mike from talking bad about you, AJ.
Oh, I don't believe that.
I knew he wouldn't. I'll tell you what.
I got your back, man.
Thank you. I
got your
appreciate
back.
that. The most compliment we get about AJ is just how handsome he is.
Well, I've seen his pictures. I've spoken to him, and I would agree with that. Plus, I would not be in a position to argue with the guy because he's bigger than me. So, you know what I'm saying?
Bigger than most.
And he's from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? He knows people.
Hey,
Hey,
he's from Jersey too.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He's his partner in the business.
Jersey connection.
So,
And he's, I believe, going to be on the podcast next week.
we are working on that. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
So he's actually going a little bit further into the other aspects that we do, the stem cells, the vitamin therapy.
I want the hell with him. You come back next week.
We'll come together.
Do it. Yeah. We'll put you guys on too.
All right.
AJ, I'm going to call you in a minute,
See
okay?
you, bud. When people call into the show, anything can happen. So let me ask you a couple of things. I want to throw out some situations. You say yay or nay as to whether peptide can help them. Diabetes,
Yes.
neuropathy,
Yes.
neuralgia paresthetica.
I'll look into that.
That's good because that's my problem. Hair loss, and I mean that seriously.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Don't
need a lot of peptides.
Yes.
A lot of
Actually, so there are peptides specifically like to target that and regrow hair, but there's other ones that, for example, growth hormone secretagogues, right? So that it's going to make your pituitary gland produce more growth hormone.
Okay.
Which therefore, in lieu, it is better hair, skin, nail growth, and all
Sure.
that. So we have people that actually, do have hair loss problems, but are taking certain peptides for other reasons. And I have an exact story of one of my friends who's actually a patient of ours, and he's taking a certain peptide called CJC, and it's an alternative to taking human growth hormone, and it optimizes your pituitary gland to produce more human growth hormone itself. So through that, and because CJC has the natural pathways as opposed to HGH, where it's just going to go everywhere, you're going to get more focused on what it's supposed to do. So he was actually at his barber. He had some balding going on back here. And his barber's kind of, he's like, your hair's growing back here. And he was so happy ever since. And he's continued treatment. And his hair is actually, without it even being the reason he's taking it, has seen good results.
A residual effect.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Wow.
put it that way, the ones that are made for hair restoration, they work wonderfully.
Perfect. Okay. Give me 2 or 3 situations where peptide may not be useful, if any.
Well,
just so we can give our audience a good idea of what does
breaking a bone.
Okay.
For example, because there are peptides that have healing properties.
Okay.
So that's a big one amongst, the athletic community that we use. There's a peptide called BPC 157.
Okay.
It's probably one of our more popular ones because it can pertain to anybody, but especially, people who are putting their body under a certain amount of stress. So BPC stands for body protectant compound. Okay. So it's going to protect your body. So overall effects, it's a small insulin needle syringe, pinch your body fat right in the skin fold, poke it in there, small amount of liquid. It's going to reduce all internal inflammation. Any aches and pains will start to go away. It repairs your body. So even if you have an injury and things like that, it will start to repair them. But if you're in the weight room working out, you don't grow in the gym. You grow when your body is repairing the small micro fibers that were torn during the workout. So your recovery time is up because it's starting to recover you way quicker. Also, your body doesn't want extensive amounts of body fat. So it protects your body from gaining additional body fat. Therefore helps you burn body fat. Biggest issue with people is if you see somebody in the gym, they're burning body fat. Your stored body fat is the energy source. So you're burning it. But you also go to the gym and see the person that works out every day really hard in 2 months and they look the same. The thing is, they're also gaining body fat while they're losing it.
And also muscle. How much of that fat into muscle is part of that?
Well, yeah, exactly. And, the big part of losing body fat is you have to stop gaining it at the same time. You're never going to see that difference. So if you're protecting your body from additional body fat, now it's also a body fat peptide as well, when really it's a repair peptide. So that being said, you can do it, like I said, in that area, and get the overall effects. But you could also do site injections. So if your elbow is injured or your elbow specifically hurts, like it's hindering your workouts and that's the area, you can start by doing it in the area 1 to 4 inches from the injury site. And it'll actually, since it's hitting that first, that'll be the first line of defense there. So it will actually repair and heal the injury, and a lot quicker than if you did it for overall purposes. Now, if you're doing the treatment and your elbow starts to feel good, you can then opt to start doing it subcutaneously in your belly and still get the healing properties to continue in your elbow
at that spot, plus
everything
protection.
else. And when you're doing your elbow, you're still getting the other effects too. It's just that it's going to identify that that's what's needed.
It's a quicker pathway to
that being said, peptides do have repairing and all that, but broken bone is one thing they can't do.
Okay.
It's not going to make a bone go back together.
That makes sense. All right, we are out of time, and folks, I think we can do a show for a couple of hours on all of this, quite frankly, because I know we haven't even scratched the surface at the top of a head of a pin with all of this. But if you want more information, you're intrigued by anything that Mike has shared, text him 862-400-8703. I would text him while he's here in Vegas for our local listeners, because Mike and AJ are going to be at different shows. Different gyms.
Also, so I'm going to give you guys our Instagram handle. But while I am here in Vegas, since we did start peptide therapy for patients out in our Las Vegas office called Infinite Wellness, I have been seeing them in person at the office while here. So if anybody, within the next, we're leaving the Red Eye on Sunday. So we have today, we have all day tomorrow. What's today? Friday or Saturday?
Today's
Saturday, brother.
Okay.
Saturday.
So we have today
in
and tomorrow.
I told you I got your back.
I got your back. It's the time change thing. I need some of those peptides to help you retain information. So, I can meet them at the office. We're going to be there anyway. But so at Advanced Development LLC on Instagram. So @ and Advanced Development LLC. Then we also have @ Integrated Pain Management LLC. That's our office on the East Coast in New Jersey. And then we have @ infinitewellness.lv, which is our Vegas office.
Okay.
And then mine is @ Showtime Fitness, @show_time_fitness. So you can also get all the information on there. It's all fitness content.
He sent me all of these links to IG yesterday. I'm scoping them all out like, son of a gun. This is some good stuff here.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for stopping in.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. A lot of fun.
Mike Brown, Advanced Development LLC, peptide treatments, not Pepsid or Pepto-Bismol. This is peptides to help your body heal. You're watching TCA. John has his finger up.
Check it out because the chief says so.
Chemical nanobots.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Whatever.
Hello, hi, this is April Hom, the Royal Hawaiian from Glow, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
All right, welcome back.
And we're back.
Thoughts, Ken? Do you want to do a rant to close out the first hour?
No.
All right.
702-792-3207.
Oh, man. 702-992. Put your glasses on and read this.
That's what the hell's wrong. Yeah, there we go. 702-992-3207.
99232 or chat room or YouTube. And now that Mike is off the stage, ready for our viewership to plummet.
I'm back, Ronald.
Thomas is back here with us.
Call in because the chief said so. I got my flip phone. I'll talk to you.
Anyway, all right. There. We have about 7 or 8 minutes left in the first hour, maybe a little less.
Hey, you know, I do have a rant. Can I do a 2-minute rant real quick? Here we go.
Sure, we're just here for you.
We're shooting on the hip. Don't worry about nothing, John. Don't worry about nothing.
Do you need us up here? We'll leave if you.
The Chiefs fan, I can go to my car real quick.
Yeah, go ahead if you need to. Go ahead, Aaron. If you need to go.
No, I'm good. Thanks. I want ringside seats.
Anyway, here's what I don't understand, folks. Here's what I don't understand, and we're going to get into it further. But I don't understand how you split Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And the reason I say that, it's not because I don't understand. I do understand. But what I don't understand is you just have a WrestleMania match with Roman and Cody. And in all of our minds, I'm sure, we thought that the storyline wasn't over between the two of them. And now Brock Lesnar comes into the picture. Okay. Cody and Brock are feuding. Cody's going to Raw. Presumably Brock's going to go to Raw. Then in reality, what does that do for our boy Gunther? And in my opinion, I think Gunther's getting the raw part of the stick, so to speak, in this whole scenario. So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to talk about it later. That's the Chiefs rant for now.
For now.
Yeah.
Especially since Imperium got drafted in its entirety to Raw, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
Yep.
So that kind. So let's talk about the draft. Pretty good. The rest of this.
Well, Brandy came up with a good point last night when we were talking.
Okay.
She's saying, like, you keep Cody away from the world title all year. He can win the Rumble again, and then you do the rematch, Roman and Cody at next year's Mania, and then Cody finally finishes the story.
Are you saying he wins the Money in the Bank?
No,
or Royal Rumble.
Challenge
Royal Rumble.
Rumble, I said.
Okay. All right.
There has been.
I'm just bringing it up.
I saw a report come out this morning or late last night that right now on the table for 40 is Cody and Reigns.
Then why break
the chase? That's why.
Help me out on this, will you?
The chase.
You know where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
Help me out.
I know what you're trying to say, but if they're the actual if they want to do the rematch at WrestleMania, you kind of want to keep them separated to build like the
chase, right?
Because if Roman's just going to keep going like this all year, it doesn't even matter. If the new World Heavyweight Championship's going to be on Raw, that means Cody's going to get the consolation prize for like a year. Which basically the World Heavyweight title is nothing but a consolation prize to whoever wins it, because to be the world WWE champion, you got to beat Roman.
So is it going to be? So Roman's going to have the one belt. Cody wins the other belt. They're both going to meet at WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
Championship against championship, and then you have one champion again.
No, I think they'll keep them separated. I don't think Cody will hold the belt for a year just because it's a new belt. And
Okay.
they don't seem to hold on to him too long when they first start. But Cody will get his championship win finally. God knows I don't want it to happen in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I think
all this other nonsense.
I think the split helps the chase of the title is what you're kind of alluding to. I think that's a good thing. The question will be is in a year from now, will the audience and fans want to see Cody and Roman again?
Mm.
And if they do, doesn't Cody have to win the second time?
He's got
Because they can't dip it
He'd
the
have
third
to
time,
win, yeah.
right?
He's got to win it.
And you brought up this new title. We were kind of talking about it before we went on the air. To me, that title, if you're going to have a world champion on Raw opposite of Roman, and we know the reasons, Fox and all that stuff wanting titles and everything and giving something to USA, doesn't a Raw world title cheapen the title of Universal and Heavyweight Champion that Roman's carrying as the entire championship? I think it puts a dent into his legacy as a total Universal Heavyweight Champion of WWE, in my opinion. It is a consolation prize. I think somebody may have used that word, and it sucks.
I don't think it diminishes Roman at all because he's still the undisputed Universal WWE Champion. He's on a league of his own.
Okay.
But as far as creating a new belt just to have a new champion because Roman is that unbeatable, it's just going to diminish that championship right off the bat.
See, Brandy just put a good comment in. I don't want Cody to win the new belt because it will diminish his title run. Put it on Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins' name keeps coming up as the leader in getting that belt. Here, I'm just going to put other names on the table for that. And I want to get your reaction before we go to break in 2 minutes. Drew McIntyre.
That's what I was just thinking. Like if he resigns or they just.
Well, I find it interesting that he got drafted to one of the brands specific because if he was not looking to resign or they were not having good success, why draft him?
Yeah.
Even though he didn't get drafted last night, it doesn't mean he wouldn't have gotten drafted Monday.
So now I'm thinking that maybe they'll put the title on him to make him happy, to get him to say, like, we're really gonna get behind you this time. You're gonna have a nice time. You're gonna finally get your moment in front of the fans, finally winning the big one.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is the way, like, hey, this is getting him to resign.
Well, I don't know that because it's still not the world heavyweight title. It's still not. To me, you could put 20 different titles in there, brand new titles.
You're going to be Roman to be the actual
exactly
world champion.
Let me throw this.
Okay.
There's wrestlers that have been on the shows that have gotten pushed. Okay. I will give you one certain one. He played a guitar.
Elias.
He was going along, doing great, building up. All of a sudden, you don't see him on TV no more.
I think the thing was with the Ezekiel storyline, his brother, I think hurt him coming back.
You don't see him on TV. Here's another one. Somebody just put a name out there.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see LA Knight get pushed so bad.
Over the other name that person put in there?
They're both going to get pushed. Okay, both of them are.
Karrion Kross was the other name for the folks who didn't see it.
He's wrestling Nakamura this week, this upcoming Friday. So that says something right there. He's getting back on TV. But LA Knight, he's been in the WWE before. Okay, Vince squashed his ass. I hope it doesn't happen this time because what I saw last night on TV, there was a whole section sitting up in the stands that were going crazy for that guy. And if they don't take advantage of that, and LA Knight or Sean Ricker, speak up for yourself, sir, because you deserve it now. And that's from the Chiefs' heart.
All right. As we go to break here, Brandy also put in the chat room that Zoe Stark was drafted to Raw this morning during the draft stuff that they're doing over the weekend. All right. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. Hour number 1 is in the books, man. We're going to have a very busy hour number 2. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs. Hi, everybody. Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, no religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hi there, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. Coming to you from WWDBTV studios in the heart of Las Vegas. Today, the temperature is creeping close to those triple digits, mid to upper 90s.
Freaking 96 today, 98 tomorrow.
And then on Wednesday, my wife's birthday, it drops down to below 70 degrees on Wednesday. So what the hell's going on?
You didn't send me a message?
Because I just realized it.
Mother Nature is bipolar.
See, you give me shit, man. And his
Well,
wife's
listen.
birthday's Wednesday.
The good thing is my wife doesn't even listen to get me in trouble.
He didn't
So they're
text
fine.
me. He didn't. Nothing.
Yeah,
So I could put it on the list.
It's on
Well,
here
you just
now.
put it on us now, so.
All right, we're going to stick with the draft talk and coverage, and we're going to turn it back over to Matt because apparently there's an update on stuff happening this morning along with Zoe Stark draft. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
They did
I'm
a like
befuddled.
little supplemental draft.
Take it away.
Today, I'm trying to, if you don't interrupt me.
I won't.
But
You know how it feels.
yeah, I know how it feels every week.
Go ahead.
They did a draft on today. So far, Raw's got the Viking Raiders and Valhalla, the Maximum Male Models, Candice LeRae and Dexter Loomis. It's kind of weird that they're paired together and not Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano.
Well, Gargano's hurt. Not that it should matter, but I
Yeah.
think he's out hurt. But.
Then Raw also got Natalia, Apollo Crews, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark from NXT, and JD McDonough.
So they drafted. So they brought Apollo Crews back up from NXT now.
Yeah.
They JD McDonough.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
And
And
then-
Zoe. Yes.
And then SmackDown got Hit Row and Lacey Evans. I don't understand why Raw got like 10 people and SmackDown got 2.
Are they still drafting? Maybe for Raw right now?
Probably.
I mean, for SmackDown. First of all, those two picks for SmackDown, in my opinion, mean nothing.
Nope.
Never liked Hit Row. They got their own. I like the lead guy. I remember it on that show,
Swerve?
Treasures.
Yeah.
You know, when he hosts that show, that he's good there. That faction, he's kind of been out since he blew that dive over the rope back
Yeah.
months ago. And Lacey Evans, this girl has had more personality changes than Big Show has had when he was
Stop,
with
start,
WWE.
stop,
right?
start, start.
So to me, those are really nothing extraordinary at all for SmackDown.
And then they also announced 4 free agents: Omos, Von Wagner, Mustafa Ali, and Dolph Ziggler.
And I heard Dolph Ziggler's out for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
He's injured?
A neck injury.
Really?
Yes.
I'm surprised we haven't heard the name of Braun Breaker yet.
Maybe we won't.
I'm sure
No,
we will
maybe,
on Raw.
But yeah, it could be.
I could see him and Cora Jade end up on Raw.
Yeah. So the personalities so let's go back to reviewing the draft selections from last night as we just learned about all those there. So round 1, Raw got Cody Rhodes, Becky Lynch, which then that then squashes Lynch and Trish, unless Trish is going to somehow get drafted to Raw from SmackDown.
She'll get drafted to
Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Solo as a trio got drafted, and Bianca Belair. And we're going to get to that in a second. I just want to finish reviewing. Round 2, Drew McIntyre and The Miz to Raw, Lashley and the OC. It was great to see AJ Styles back.
AJ's back, baby.
That's right. Round 3, the Imperium and Matt Riddle go to Raw, Street Profits and Edge go to SmackDown. Now, what's his name? Montez Ford and Bianca now could be on the same brand. And round 4, Shinsuke Nakamura, Indy Hartwell, and on SmackDown, Damage Control and the current NXT Tag Team Champions. Albert Fire, and Isla. Is that how she pronounced it?
Isla
Dawn.
So, so the first one that jumped out was Becky Lynch and her storyline with Trish in the turn.
Yeah.
Does Trish now, possibly on Monday, get drafted to Raw? So that storyline continues.
Yeah.
Is question number one.
Mm-hmm.
And the three of us, before we went on the air, we were talking about Bianca getting drafted to SmackDown, even though she's the Raw Women's Champion. The last time they had a brand draft was when Charlotte and Becky had the belts.
Yeah.
They were drafted to the opposite brand, and we had the big brouhaha that when they had to switch belts and one, that whole thing. We're gonna have to see the same thing, right? Because we know Rhea Ripley is the champ on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right. So there's got to be something going on to get her over to Raw, which could be the whole Judgment Day, or maybe not. I don't know. But then they have to switch the belts, unless they just do it behind the scenes, like, okay, just switch belts and off we go.
They'll probably do it on camera.
I can honestly see Io Sky win the title since he's already drafted to SmackDown.
So Io beats Rhea or beats Bianca?
Well, she had to beat Bianca.
She's got to beat Bianca, yeah.
But either way, Bianca's wearing the Raw belt, though. There
Yeah,
has to
right
be a
now it's
switch of
scheduled
the
for the,
belts.
yeah, because right now it's still scheduled for the Raw Women's title.
True.
But as we've been reading, everybody, we believe that none of these changes will take effect until after Backlash. Seems to be the consensus. So in theory, she could drop the belt on
Well, they should have done this
Backlash.
after Backlash. That's how stupid they are. Should have been after Backlash.
But remember, they can all be traded.
Oh,
Can they? Has it been,
Yeah, they can.
Has it been said, though, that they can make trades?
I think once they do that with the belts, though, they're not going to. I can't see them switching back again.
They said on the show last night, they said that there could possibly be trades.
Okay, I missed that. I apologize. I missed that.
Well,
they've always done that with all the other drafts where the other stuff could come up later on.
Thank you.
So I think to see what happens with that clause that you just talked about will be Judgment Day and what happens with Rhea Ripley, right? And in terms of that belt. And we only have this with the women's titles. In the past, we've never really had this on the men's titles when there was a red belt and a blue belt, right? We never really had. I can't think of it. I mean, I could be wrong. That could have happened. I don't remember an instance.
No, never happened.
But the women's, we always seem to have this issue.
Yeah.
Do you know who looked hot last night?
Who's that?
Mia Yim. She looked good last night. Yeah. I just thought
Liz on the-
I just thought
I say Liz on there yet?
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Tom puts in there, this is why brand-specific programming is horrible. Everyone should be able to be used in any show as it was done for decades. And I agree with that if there was only one belt.
Yeah.
One belt, one champion. Roman, as an example, should have full access to take on challengers from any show, either show, just like a women's champion should have. You only have one tag team title for the women,
You know,
and you only have one, well,
For the men.
supposedly,
For
one,
right now, for the men,
you know,
yeah.
for the men too.
I got to say this, and I've been holding it and holding it and holding it.
Well, bathroom was right over there.
And I tied a knot in it. I tied a knot in it before we started.
I'm
so
sorry to hear
shut
that.
up.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Anyway, I'm glad that they're bringing the new belt in. It looks like a championship belt. The belts that Roman Reigns carries and the belts that KO and Sami Zayn carry look like shit. I'm surprised WWE put them out there because they do not look like a championship belt.
That new one, they should have taken the two away from Roman and made that the true universal of all time champion.
That's what I thought they were going to do.
So
yet-
we're in agreement. on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I don't like it because to me it's a belt that they're trying to stick in between the Intercontinental belt.
You mean the new belt?
The new belt.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't like the premise of putting another belt out there like that.
I mean the design
No,
of it.
I know, and I'll get that. I'll get to that in a second. It's like between because in the past, Chief, we always talked about that the Intercontinental seemed to have always been the road to the heavyweight title in the past.
Yes.
The thing about the belt, and I kind of like it, but it reminded me of when the new Intercontinental belt came out, when Shinsuke won it and he had the new belt. I wasn't so keen on that belt because I thought it was very busy.
Right.
I've grown to like it. The new belt kind of has hit me the same way because they're out online, social media, people are voicing their opinions about the belt. A lot of people think it's too busy. A lot of people want to go back to the much plainer belts like back in the day, the NWA belts, the simpler belts had more class to them than the glitz and glamour of some of the belts we see now. Because the world heavyweight champion that Ric Flair held for so many times, if that was the prestige belt to have, that looked like a belt. 10 pounds of gold, had the big gold plate. But I think the new one's going to grow on me in terms of its look, and they're pre-selling it now for $4.99. That's a cheap plug for WWE Shop.
Send us one.
Here's the point that I'm trying to get my head around. With Cody going to Raw, are we in agreement that Brock's probably going to go to Raw?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm thinking Cody's going to win the belt. Just
matter of time.
Yeah.
I think it's Cody and Seth in the final.
But I agree with you. But my thing is with Cody having the battle with Brock, and we talked about this before we went on. Where does that leave Gunther?
Still the Intercontinental Champion, and he's got to.
To me,
he's got to work his way up a little bit to get the heavyweight champion.
You still think he does?
So in the pecking order, and I love your
He
point.
hasn't been there long enough. He has to be there every week for at least 15 years to get a world heavyweight title shot. It doesn't matter if the belt is brand new.
Well,
he has to be there for a certain amount of
that's
time.
That's because Bruno Sammartino held the belt so long.
So now walking
now
to the
they're
ring,
trying to do it to
They're trying to unboard the fans from that reign still.
So I want to think about the pecking order, because Gunther's had the IC belt a year.
Yeah,
he's had it a while. 300-400 days. He's had it a while. Back in the day, we keep going back in the day, that IC belt, man, you were being groomed to be that heavyweight champion. You didn't need another stepping stone. So does that mean now Roman's the universal title, i.e. Roman, this new title, and then the IC belt gets pushed down another notch? If it does, I think that's a little slap to Gunther, because he's defended that belt and really, I think, brought that belt to something. Austin Theory has done nothing to impress me with the U.S. belt. Would I just take your thunder? Go ahead, finish it. God, I opened the door. Go ahead.
So what I was going to say was, I do not want to see Austin Theory jump ahead of Gunther, because in my opinion, okay, Gunther is the better wrestler and the better performer on TV, and he holds the Intercontinental belt. And as you said, in the day, it was the Intercontinental, then the U.S. belt.
Mm-hmm.
So
hate me in a second.
No, because we're talking intelligently now amongst us. I just don't think that if you're going to do it, put Gunther against the U.S. title and may the best man win. Or put Gunther against Cody and made a best man win. That's how I look at it.
Matt?
Prestige-wise, Austin Theory is much higher than Gunther. There's no question about it, because if Gunther's on SmackDown this whole year, he's played second fiddle to Roman Reigns no matter what he does. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns is the Universal Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm.
So Raw basically didn't have a champion, so their champion was Austin Theory.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the main event of Monday Night Raw. He was he's essentially the Roman Reigns of Monday Night Raw, because he was the champion.
Mm-hmm.
So either Theory's going to drop the belt to Lashley and stay on Raw, or he's going to SmackDown.
So if they already have the Intercontinental Champion on Raw, he's obviously going to SmackDown.
So he could stay on Raw and just drop the belt to Lashley, because Lashley's going to SmackDown.
Or he could be redrafted and stay on Raw, right?
Well, yeah, he could be drafted.
It's Theory. He's got these two big dudes going against him. He's going to find some way to cheat and win.
Tom Crawford put an interesting comment in there. Unpopular opinion. Gunther just doesn't do it for him. Thomas, powerful but very little in-ring personality in his opinion. He thinks AJ Styles will be an excellent IC champion and bring prestige back to it. Let me just comment that, and then you guys, I'll throw it at you. Does he the type of style that he has, that European tough guy with Imperium, and what we saw that he did against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, does he need an over-the-top personality
to
do what he's doing? They have, in my opinion, they have molded his personality to fit his style of wrestling. He's from Europe. I don't take no BS from anybody. I don't think his personality needs a change because of the way they built him as this personality of an Intercontinental belt. That's
Name the
my
last
thought of it.
WWE champion with a boring personality.
Hans Mortier.
In the last 20 years.
You didn't say that.
Well, the name that comes to mind obviously is Backlund because he was considered very vanilla as champion when he had it.
Yep.
And then when
In
he
the
dropped
last
it,
one, do you want to see Gunther open Monday Night Raw every week?
you know what? Doesn't matter if he deserves a shot to have the title. A guy like that may win it, but he won't carry it long because of somebody coming along as well.
You can just have Kaiser talk for him.
To be WWE champion, you got to have the personality too, and like the mic skills. He's not quite there. He's got to have like a legit mouthpiece.
Roman didn't have it early on.
He didn't, but where he is now.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Roman started at a point where his mic skills were shit.
True.
Gunther, you're probably right. He probably won't carry that stick, but Reigns got better to the point where we see him now. Again, what's not to say we don't have a crystal ball or magic 8 ball that couldn't happen for Gunther.
True.
But I agree wholeheartedly with the change in the pecking order of what can happen with the belt.
Yeah.
And this new belt to satisfy USA Network to have a champion. It's really what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the TV deals are up and they want champions
Correct.
on their shows.
And again, another topic before you got here was why does Fox dictate who they want as a champion? They want Reigns to stay there, right?
When you pay $1 billion for a TV deal, you get what you want.
Even though, as Chief correctly pointed out, there's no loyalty to USA where Raw started out 30, 40 years ago, but it comes down to the dollars. And because of that, they're on regular television. Fox is. They're not
broadcast TV.
Exactly, and that's one. And it's the money. You're right on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things we have to recognize. But getting out of that Gunther position, I think he's the one that's in peril here, in my opinion, because what you said about Theory, 100% correct. He's been carrying it with that personality and the fuse he's been in, no question. I'm afraid it's going to push Gunther down a little bit in terms of pecking order because he has had, in my opinion, a very strong reign as I see, especially when you look at what he did at WrestleMania.
I think it's a lot better for Gunther to be on Raw because then he'll have the chance to go up. If you're on the same brand as Roman, you have a glass ceiling.
So
you're only going to get so high with Roman Reigns on your brand. Without Roman Reigns, he can be WWE or World Heavyweight Champion and get to that next step and progress from there.
So if Theory goes to SmackDown, like you're saying he's going to play second fiddle to Roman.
Yeah.
After coming out of Raw and being the number one man at Raw, that don't make sense either.
Well, with Roman not being around as much and only working like the big shows and Saudi, Theory will be the number one guy on SmackDown.
That's all
as the U.S. champion.
That's all he did when Gunther was there. He didn't work every show.
Yeah, so Gunther elevated himself to being the number one guy on SmackDown with Roman gone.
But
and now Theory's going to take over.
But the point I'm trying to make is Theory going from number one on Raw, which he was, according to everybody, and now he's going to SmackDown, where, as you said, Gunther played number two. Theory's going to have to play number two now.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not right. He shouldn't have to play number one, number two. They're all professional wrestlers. My point was, I think Gunther deserves the push to get a push because he has held the IC belt for over a year. Okay? I think he deserves a push to go up to the championship level now.
He does deserve a push, but those belts don't mean what they used to be. They're just props to further storylines nowadays.
It means a lot. It means a lot to a lot of the wrestling fans who has those belts, though.
Sure.
I think.
A couple of thoughts I want to just put out there.
Okay.
That are coming in the chat room.
Very well.
Ronald says,
You're allowed.
Thank you. Ronald believes that Theory is going to go to SmackDown. Tom Crawford sort of agreed with my comments on his thing about Gunther. Nick Plaster says Roman Reigns is boring. Tom also follows up with Cross. Cross would be gold as a heavyweight champion. Nick Plaster then says it's Heyman carrying him on the mic. My buddy Rafi's out there, likes my shirt and all the topic. Thank you, buddy. Brandy brings up an interesting point. She thinks it was crazy that officially Paul Heyman's name was mentioned first in that draft selection. Wouldn't you think it would be Roman, Solo, and the Advocate? Is Paul bigger than? Because I kind of see what she's alluding to there.
Paul,
you know,
see, when we were talking, in my mind, Paul Heyman is the mouthpiece for Roman Reigns.
I just took it as they were announcing the champion last as like the build-up.
That could be too.
I was trying to read that hard into it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but also realizing Cepha Fatu from FSW
Hey, Nick.
was legit the number one pick in the WWE draft.
Yeah.
That caught me more than anything.
Part of a trio pick, though.
But still.
But yes, he
Still.
was the number one pick.
So let me ask the question. Do you think Roman? Well, let me put it this way.
Okay.
Do you all think Roman Reigns should have been the first pick in the draft?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Do
you think Cody should have been the second pick?
Yes.
Out of the ones that were on there, yes.
Yeah.
I would have assumed Seth Rollins would have been number 2, but they split the roster literally in half, so only certain people were eligible for each night.
Yeah. Nick believes Cody should have been first. Brandy agrees with your comment about Cepha. Whereas I saw another comment I wanted. So being that Roman was the first pick, rightfully so. I mean, how can you not pick the man?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like if there's a fantasy draft and not picking Tom Brady first.
Well, he's retired now.
Oh, no. Patrick Mahomes.
There you go, my homies.
But you're right. I mean, how do you not pick the guy, right?
Yeah.
So, there was another comment there. Somebody put in there, Cody should have been second.
Okay.
But this furthers my thought on that secondary heavyweight champion. He's the number one pick overall, Roman, because he's got the belts. He's the man. You got to be recognized as the true successful champ. You got to beat Roman. That's why this new heavyweight champ means shit. Put it on your desk as a paperweight, folks. That's all it means. It's a consolation prize to satisfy USA.
Yep.
And yes, they have to put it on somebody, and you want to put it on somebody who's going to bring that brand recognition, especially if Theory loses the belt to Lashley, is what people are thinking here. Does Lashley have the charisma to be a heavyweight champ?
He's held it twice.
That's not my point. He held it. His personality was great as a heel in the Hurt business, but MVP did a lot of the talking.
Maybe
But was he that face that if he were to carry a heavyweight champion as a face, did he really have the persona to carry it for very long?
No.
So that goes to the Gunther argument. Go ahead, Chief.
I think now Lashley has the personality to carry it. He's developed. Okay. I'm going to go back to it. I just feel there's a certain few people right now who deserve the pushes. Gunther's one, LA Knight's another one. People are putting Carrion out there. I think Carrion's going to start this weekend or this upcoming week with Shinsuke Nakamura. They're going to start their battle. That's definitely going to help Carrion. Okay, so I think those three. I think I still think we're going to see Drew. We're going to see his cohort in crime, Sheamus. We're going to see Seth. They're going to be there. But I think, and I hope that we're going to see, and Austin Theory's another one. I hope that the WWE and the people backstage push the right people. I'm glad to see the women, ladies. I'm glad to see the women drafted up from NXT to Raw and SmackDown now. I think it's well deserved. Congrats to Zoe. As I said, we've had the good fortune out here in Vegas to see some of these wrestlers,
Mhm.
and glad to see it. And LA Knight, I'm going to say it again, brother. You speak up and get your damn push.
Now, we're throwing Seth's name around potentially as seems to be the consensus pick by social media sites and fans to win this new belt, right? What if?
Who's in the tournament? I haven't seen.
They haven't announced anybody yet.
No, they haven't. They're probably not going to until the draft is
So
over.
they're prognosticating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they're prognosticating,
gotta do, brother.
but people are asking on social media, who do you think should win the inaugural belt, right?
Prognosticating. That's 5.
Don't hurt yourself. So here's the question: what if?
Talk to me.
What if Seth gets drafted to SmackDown where Roman still is?
I think that's a possibility. I think they could set this up for Rollins to be the one that ends this reign of terror by Roman.
Because his name has come up also as who could defeat Roman and
Because Seth said
unseat him.
in his promo on Raw, Seth said, in all the lists everybody's making that Roman's beat. I am not on that list.
Right.
Here's what I don't understand, and I still don't. Why they ever made Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. I still don't understand.
The past one?
Yes, I still don't understand.
Well, we know why, because they were doing the storyline of Cody achieving something his dad never did, and that was the storyline.
So to me, and I get that, okay, but to me, I would think that they would, with Cody not winning it, he would want to stay there and build it back up to challenge Roman again. With him going to Raw now, he's not going to have that opportunity.
Not immediately.
Exactly.
But this is where, like you talked about, that clause of future movement can happen.
Yep.
Anything can happen. All right, we're going to step aside for our one break of the hour because we said so. The last half hour of the show, we love this draft talk.
You're freaking stealing my line, man. What's up with that? Because
What's up with that?
Because I said so.
We'll be right back.
Acknowledge us.
This is your warlord of weird Sin Bodhi, and you are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere right here on Facebook, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Stay tuned. Do I look like I'm clowning around? Buddy, I'm Aaron Phillips, and I am with the legend. And Sabu, you were telling me earlier about a special wrestling show that you really like, and that is what? Thoughts Count Anywhere. That's a coincidence. The same show that runs Saturdays, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific, right here on Facebook. You better listen to the man to watch.
Okay.
Hi there. What shirt? Did you just come up with a new shirt idea that I missed?
No.
Old school versus new school? Yeah, answer the flip phone, will you,
Hello.
please? All right.
Hello.
We're enjoying the conversation and the comments in the chat room. Nick says another storyline is Cody and Triple H possibly.
For why?
Why not?
Well, Triple H ain't gonna get back in the ring.
Yeah,
for
Triple
one.
H is not getting back in because of his heart, I don't think.
Yeah, he ain't gonna risk that. But what would this?
Wait. I got one thing to say. Never say never.
Well,
In that case, pacemaker.
Yeah,
Better have 911 on speed dial.
I don't think
Hey,
Stephanie would allow that
Pace-
him to ever do that,
pacemakers work wonders.
especially with his 3 girls.
Well, that's logical thinking. Okay. Professional wrestling is not logical.
No, I think if he wanted to get back in the ring, he would have done it at this WrestleMania.
He looked I'll tell you what, he looked good last night.
Yeah,
He looked like he slimmed down a little bit from what I saw.
He
didn't
looked good. He
Looked trim.
Probably
he
have
looked
to for
good
his heart
last night.
issues.
So let's say never, because we say Stone Cold's not going to go back in, right?
And he had the match, yeah.
And the one fella who I don't want to see get in the ring ever again, and this one really hurts me to say, is Flair. Okay.
Yeah, we know.
I do not. I love Flair, but I do not want to see Rick ever get back in the ring.
That's what I'm afraid of with Triple H. Because Hunter has all those health issues like Rick has.
No, he does, but I think Triple H takes care of himself a lot better than Rick
Well, yeah, he
does.
definitely does.
All
Yeah,
right,
he's in
so,
great shape.
so I'll just leave it at
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
All right, where we want to go
I want to
now?
bring up something about the Street Profits.
Go ahead.
And like
Talk
with
about the
Roman,
Street
maybe.
Profits, man.
So maybe let's say this hypothetically, maybe. Let's say like around SummerSlam, the Profits split up, not feuding. They just go their separate ways.
Okay.
Then they get behind Ford really good, like they're trying to.
Like the company pushing forward.
Yeah, they get
Okay.
behind him, drop the rocket on him.
Mhm.
Let's say he wins the Rumble and faces Roman. Maybe he's the one that ends the reign of terror.
Could
That would like there'd be somebody different,
right?
Somebody new. No one sees that coming.
Could Montez Ford though be built up that strong in a short period of time between now and November to be a legitimate challenger? Because all we've really seen him wrestle in are tag teams, except for when he goes one-on-one with somebody from the other tag team that he's wrestled.
Some jobber.
Right? No, they've wrestled the tag teams that they've been fighting with, they go one-on-one with in separate matches. So along your point, he's beefed up. We know physically he's gotten stronger, and we believe this push has probably been behind. He should have gotten a push already.
He's got the charisma.
Can he be built up enough between now and November, which is 6 months,
January.
or it's January, it's what, 7, 8
8
months, whatever
months,
it is, to be a believable opponent for Roman Reigns? I ask you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay. Next
They
up.
push him the right way. I think that they can put on a couple good 5-star matches, and they can push him the right way and make him like a legit contender.
I would much rather see him wrestle for the U.S. title because body composition, I think it's a better fit. Looking at Montez, looking at Roman, there's a lot to be desired there. Okay.
Because with him going to SmackDown now, there's no belt for him to chase there.
At the moment.
At the moment, as we sit here right now.
Yeah. Depending on what happens on Monday.
Right.
What do you think?
I can see Montez Ford getting like a main event push and like not like immediately, like he goes like from a single to the main event of WrestleMania like within the year, but I could definitely see him like in a couple years being like one of the top guys in the company.
Seriously, Ronald, what's your opinion on that? Instead of saying what you said, what's your honest opinion on that? Let me hear it.
I last night when Montez came off the ropes for the cover and the pin, he got some pretty good height. You know what that move reminded me of? Just about Jimmy Snuka.
Well, he's also a tall dude too. Montez Ford is not.
Coming
What,
up.
6'5", 6'4", 6'5", something like that.
He reminded me of Jimmy Snuka coming off the top of the cage.
He's
Jimmy Snuka didn't have hops like that.
You're full of shit.
He was just jump and go like this. Montez Ford can jump like twice as high as the
I have
ring.
to agree, with Matt. It
Montez
reminds
Ford
me
does
more
get
of
a lot of
RVD
air.
than
without
Superfly.
having the time to climb the top of a cage to get the air.
It's okay.
So
it's all right.
Montez Ford probably
Ford
doing like
reminds-
3 steps.
I've seen Jimmy Snuka do it off the top rope so many times at Madison Square Garden before he was born. So
I'm sorry, Chief, but
he
like
can say whatever he wants. Yeah,
they're just a tad more athletic now than they were in like
just keep your mouth
1960.
covered. Don't say a word. It's starting.
that's why
He
I'm sitting back
started
here.
it,
I'm
too.
sitting back and watching the
He
show right
started it.
All right, a couple other odds and end topics across the rest
Talk
of the
to me.
sheet.
Talk to me.
Let's go up to the
Where we
WWE
going?
report. The second bullet point.
Let me
CM
put
Punk
your glasses on.
was briefly backstage at Raw.
We gotta
That was
really
in
talk.
Chicago.
We
He
gotta
briefly met with The Miz to squash whatever feud they may have had. He spoke a couple of minutes with Triple H publicly in a hallway, and then somebody ratted him out. He was asked to leave the facility. A, why would Punk even show his face at Raw? And B, who would have asked him to be escorted out? Thoughts, gentlemen?
I thought it was crazy that he showed up just because not only just like being backstage in WWE after all these years, but he's an active member of AEW. I think that's the only reason he got kicked out, honestly. It's because he's worked for the competitor. But maybe he is trying to he's either trying to worm his way back into WWE by like putting his presence known, or he's just trying to hype his return to AEW, like getting his name in all the headlines and stuff, being at the WWE, because that would go everywhere.
Well, he's in negotiations to return to AEW soon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, the rumor is
To
he'll be
make
back
nice with Jericho.
in June for the new Saturday show.
Okay.
Here's the bottom line. Do we know that Punk is still under contract to AEW?
Yes, he's under a multi-year deal.
We still know that for
Yes.
sure.
100%.
Yes.
We don't know that it hasn't been canceled or anything.
No,
He's
Tony Khan
paid-
said he's under a multi-year deal.
Okay, he is. So, in saying that, I would think that would hurt his capability to go back to AEW by showing up at a WWE event. Now, from what I understand on the WWE event, he went back, he was backstage. He was talking to people, were being polite to him. They were talking to him. I guess him and Miz worked out their differences. And somebody walked by. I guess he talked to Triple H for a couple minutes. Somebody walked by, and from what I understand, Vince McMahon passed it down that he wanted Punk out of the building. That's what I understand
Hunter.
happened.
The word is Hunter called Vince to see if it's okay for Punk to stay or not. And Vince said no, he needs to leave the building right now.
That's what I understand happened.
Interesting.
I get it, but they've also had like multi AEW people backstage at WWE events.
Because Andrade was in.
They have, but with the reputation of CM Punk.
But CM Punk is like a cancer to most locker rooms, for what everyone says. So,
And the way he left WWE is still sitting in Vince's craw right now.
Yeah.
So that sort of makes sense.
He didn't leave in the best of terms.
and it was like potential lawsuits between AEW and WWE
On tampering.
on tampering contracts and
I thought they only tampered in college sports. I didn't realize it. All right. I want to touch on something, the AEW
Well,
ROH
isn't that-
report.
Isn't that what Vince did?
What's that?
Tampered with women?
That's a different tampering.
Oh, well.
By the way, for those who
Same
aren't aware of this,
general principle.
this past week, another lawsuit's being filed because of storylines that a female creative writer claims were, we'll just say inappropriate in terms of the stereotypical type of characters.
Yes.
And apparently one of them involved Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
So there's a 15 mil or whatever it is, another lawsuit. So like you said at the beginning, good luck, Endeavor. You maybe get future Endeavored soon. All right, I want to go down to AEW report because I just watched this episode of AEW All Access.
Wait a minute, let me get down.
Britt Baker.
What line are we on?
We're on fourth dot down under the AEW
Okay,
report.
go ahead. I'm there. I got
you
you.
just hear what he's listening to and
Go
start
ahead.
reading it.
Britt Baker said on All Access that she doesn't want to be a women's champion again for at least 5 years to avoid all the drama that comes with being a champion. Obviously, we both found that interesting because Stu put it on there too. I was sort of taken back by it, but I guess I can understand it, Chief. With
Then why be a wrestler if you don't want to be
this
the
part of the mic
champion?
doesn't work, right?
Then why be a wrestler
Oh my God.
if you don't want to be the champion?
Well, we've all agreed that there are some characters in wrestling that don't need a belt per se, right?
Sure.
I agree with you. But you know what? She had one hell of a bloody match as the champion. Okay? So she can carry the belt. There has to be more. I would think there has to be more to it.
Yeah, there is like more to it. She just said it was because of all the backstabbing, people running to her boss, all this other stuff. She just doesn't want to deal with it. So she's like, let other be champion people for a while.
But that's what happens when you have modern wrestling and you let the rules and the regulations get away with the zoo and the backstages.
And that's where leadership in the back, like we've always been talking about with AEW, comes in, which we all believe.
Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
is what's lacking. So I'm agreeing with you, believe it or not.
I'm just checking.
I'm believing. I'm agreeing. I believe I'm agreeing.
You know, here's the thing too. I applaud AEW for one thing. They're allowed to come out and talk about issues like this a lot more than WWE allows.
Well, WWE doesn't have like a reality show, kind of like the same thing, but
So I applaud. In that aspect, I'll give Tony Khan his props by allowing his wrestlers to come out and say something like this publicly. I won't say I totally agree with it. However, I'm glad to see they have First Amendment rights.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's in a scripted show, though. If you look at what the WWE shows, the Total Divas and all that,
Yep.
I mean, that was so scripted in what they. So I believe what she says here is accurate for her own beliefs, and Tony allowed it to stay.
Yes.
Which adds a little. Does that hurt her
twist.
character then? But does that hurt her character on television though, with the public knowing that, you know what? Why should I get behind Britt Baker? She doesn't want to even be champion for again.
That was the other point I was.
she's also like so popular and like the number one woman that.
But if she's not being pushed for titles, will she slip back over time? I know what you're saying.
I hope not.
But
I don't know, because she hasn't challenged for the title in a year since she lost it.
Yeah.
So then she's still very popular with the crowd. So
I foresee Chris Statlander coming back very, very soon.
Well, I think what helped DMD was wrestling Saraya upon her return to stay, not to stay relevant, but to continue to keep her at that high level.
Well, I think originally they were going to build to Baker turning on Hayter, but then they switched gears and went with this Outcast versus the original storyline. So now
could be.
But how much? What she said. How much is it real and how much is it scripted for the show that they're doing?
Even if her thoughts on that was 70% real, the fact that she was even allowed to take that thought in some capacity, and Tony allowing it to stick in that show is an interesting commentary on the show. Like
Well, Tony lets everything go by. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want.
Then
Tony
it goes
doesn't
back
care.
to what we've said at the beginning. He's still marked as a wrestling fan to be running a wrestling company.
I would think, and I'm speculating here.
There's a bathroom for that. Oh, speculating.
That Britt talked to Adam Cole before this came out, with Adam being in the business a little bit longer and talking to her about if it would hurt her character and in the wrestling business.
But you notice in that scene, though, she wasn't just talking to anybody. She was talking to Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
Well, her and Tony have been friends for years.
So they had her talk with him like in a restaurant.
Exactly.
Like just talking the emotion of all that. And that's who she was talking to and saying that. And he was taken back, at least in the scene, by what she said.
Absolutely.
And that's when she went on to explain it's the drama, it's the politics, like wore me down, etc. I guess it makes sense. When you're in the spotlight like that, there's things outside of why you're in the spotlight that can drag you down behind the scenes. And I'm sure it's tough.
Can I play a reverse?
Sure.
Could this all be a work?
Can it all be a work? I agree. This is possible.
Could this be a work to where Saraya and Tony Storm
and Ruby
who have brutalized her recently. Could this all be a work where she's showing that she's going to back off, but really maybe if Statlander does come back, her and Statlander, who used to be friends, go after him.
Could go after it. Chief, you have 15 minutes to be on your best behavior.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Liz. One last topic of quick discussion, and we're going to go to birthdays here. Trinity, formerly known as Naomi, made her debut at Impact Tapings last night. Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, was incognito, trying to be, but she was in attendance high up in the rafters somewhere to see her friend Trinity make her debut last night. Thoughts on her going to Impact versus any other option, including going back to WWE, but what can she do for Impact to help elevate them?
I don't know if she can really elevate them as more than they already are, but good for her and getting another job and doing this on her own without being a part of the bloodline.
But she never was part of the bloodline.
Well, yeah, but she can go back and be a part of it. They really wanted to add her or something.
At one time, her name had come up
Yeah.
early on after she and Sasha walked out. I watched they showed somebody video recorded on their phone her entrance. I don't know if you guys saw the clip.
Yeah, I did.
The crowd initially popped,
Yeah.
but then it sort of waned because she was still doing some of that glow stuff that
last night.
Yeah, during the show last night.
Okay.
So, she's got a new name now. She went out wearing the bright colors, and she wasn't wearing she didn't go down on her knees doing the dance and all that, but she came with the fluorescent. That's the color I'm looking for. Fluorescent's on her outfit.
What the people would expect.
Right. But here she got a clean slate in a new company. Wouldn't you tweak your personality a little bit? Present something. Granted, she was known for that. I get that.
Maybe that's what Santino wanted her to come out in.
If it's not broke, don't fix
it. The DOA?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just putting it out there.
See, here's
like when Santino still got the sock.
Well, because he owns the name.
Here's a
and
good
everything.
comment. Brandy says, nice of Sasha to support her friend after ruining her career. Now,
Facts.
I'm going to elevate it. Okay. I'm very glad to see the young lady. I don't care if it's Impact. I don't care if it's ROH. I don't care if it's AEW. I don't care if she went back to WWE. I'm glad that she is wrestling in the ring again. But I hope she learned her lesson, because to me, Sasha shouldn't have been there last night. Okay? She shouldn't even been allowed to get anywhere near backstage, anywhere. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, she's the one that ruined this young lady's career. However, the young lady listened to her too. So I'll say it's a 60-40.
But also, Trinity has been supporting Mercedes in Japan. So Mercedes is doing the favor.
So she's been over in Japan supporting her?
Yes.
You know this for a fact?
Well, there's pictures on social media. Even Bailey went out there.
Yeah, Bailey was out there when she
Sasha
won.
And you saw Japanese kanji and all that? Or,
Yes.
or could it be Photoshopped
It's
pictures?
not photoshopped. It's all 100% accurate.
You sure?
100% sure.
I want to see it after the show.
As they debate the validity of that, it's time for some birthdays. Birthdays.
It's that time already.
It is. Man. And if you are celebrating a birthday today, April 29th, it's Friday, May 5th, you are celebrating with these people. April 29th, Titus O'Neil. As good as Jay Lethal, Oksana, Savage. April 30th, Abdul Bashir, El Hijo de Fatama, Rob Terry, Davari, and my brother Jay Cohen back east. May 1st, Joe Hendry, Dave Taylor. May 2nd, Big Boss Man, The Rock, Kaylin Croft. May 3rd, the great Stu Hart. May 4th, Mr. Fuji. Yes. Scott Armstrong, Ryan Shamrock, Orange Cassidy, Brad Maddox, Dory Funk, Gavin Reed, Jim Steele, my wife of 34 years, Eileen. Happy birthday, darling.
Wednesday, Mr. Sean Hyde also.
Sean Hyde, happy birthday, Sean, for on what's Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Whatever day that falls out on the chart, the 3rd, I guess.
Yep.
And on May 5th, Brooke Hogan, Cowboy Bill Watts, Chad Patton, and Yamaguchi-san. Happy birthday to everybody out there celebrating. Again, a reminder, if you want us to announce a birthday.
Brandy's is on Tuesday.
Whose?
Brandy.
Oh, no, it says her husband's birthday is on Tuesday.
I thought you said her birthday.
It says Sean Hyde on Wednesday.
Yeah.
My husband's birthday on Tuesday. When did she
wrong.
get married?
When's the last time you had your eyes checked?
Which?
Oh, wow.
Well, you better
Brandy, who's your husband?
Get your ass.
Rock.
Oh, well, I announced rock.
Get
Yeah.
your ass to the optometry.
Sheesh. All right. So if you are, remember, please use our Facebook page, Thoughts Count Anywhere show on Facebook. Put any announcements that you'd like us to share online.
Brandy says you're special, son.
The short bus is picking them up at 11:01. Anyway.
Aisle 7 turkey bowl.
There you go. Anyway, so post it out there. Go to our website, by the way.
Thicker eyeglasses, dude.
Go to our
stuff.
That's right. ThoughtsCountAnywhere.com. Go to our shop tab. We have all of our merchandise out there. You get our logos on anything. We've got some new shirts in mind.
Anything?
Just about.
Okay.
Well, you want a tattoo of it, John?
No.
Anyway, ThoughtsCountAnywhere.com. Check it out. Lots of birthdays. I don't know what happened 9 months prior to that, but damn. Good list today.
I went to a couple. I go to a couple websites.
I know.
And get them off.
Now we celebrated.
I'll bet.
They got him off 9 months ago too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's why I love this show. Okay, so a couple of things.
Talk to me.
Yeah, tattoo
What?
Thomas face might be an improvement. Jerry Springer passed away this week, former
Yes, he did.
Cincinnati mayor, and of course, host of his long-running show that
Yes.
really set the pace for many other shows out there of who the fathers are and who did what to whom. 79, I think, was his year.
79.
He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer really not too long ago, and that's
Last
what
month.
that he was succumbed to. So obviously was really stage 4 and well beyond.
Yep.
And then also, it's not on the list, but I picked it up for Aaron's Hour. Harry Belafonte passed away, longtime singer, actor, activist, 96 years old.
Wow.
The one stadium song that everybody knows, Deo, the Banana Song,
Yeah.
which in the information I pulled was really a song about workers. It had a message in it. It wasn't just a song they put together.
Yep.
It's a great message, and you can check out the history on that. I think the album was Calypso, which was his 4th album when he did that. And then our very own Vegas Golden Knights got past the Jets and move
Hell
on
yeah.
and move on to the next round.
We play the winner of the Oilers and the Kings.
That should be a nice series.
When do they play? Today?
Oilers and Kings play tonight. Yes.
Is that game 7 for them?
Game 6.
Game 6.
It ends tonight. The Kings have nothing left.
Okay. So the Knights are getting a little extra rest because they're going to game 6.
So the Kings.
It's most likely the Oilers and the Knights in the next round.
You don't think the Kings?
I don't think so. After that, not
Are
after
they
blowing
play-
that, not
are
after blowing that 3-0 lead the other night.
Are they playing in LA?
Yes, it's in LA.
So they're home.
They're home.
I don't know if you can take away home field advantage, but we'll see what
Oh
happens.
no, we did.
Do we?
I think it's going to go to a game 7.
Do the Knights?
That will give us more rest.
Do the Knights have what it takes to win the Cup this year, to get through and win it all this year?
Yeah, as long as they stay healthy and keep playing the way they're playing, yeah.
And get past the Oilers.
They'll get past the Oilers just
That'll be
fine.
slick if they do.
If
See what I did there, John? Just for you.
If they
We ran
get
out of time.
if they get by the Oilers,
Mhm.
I say they can make it to the Stanley Cup.
And who would they face on the Eastern Conference? Who do you think?
No telling now because it's Boston and
Boston's on the ropes.
they're on
Yeah,
3-3.
They're on thin ice. I know you were about to say it.
I was.
I saw it coming to you.
I was.
Absolutely. So it is exciting. The one thing about hockey and basketball, because we also have to remember basketball playoffs are still going on.
Yeah.
Their seasons are just way too effing long, and half the league gets in the playoffs anyway. Shorten the damn regular season to make the playoffs mean more.
Have you watched any of the NFL draft?
I have, yes.
Some very interesting picks.
Yes. I think the biggest news was actually the day of and the day before the draft.
Houston drafting 2 and 3. I think they had a good draft. The Eagles had a good
Their
draft.
defense. The 2 guys they picked up from Georgia. Are you kidding me?
But here's what I don't understand.
Okay.
How, and I was watching it the whole time, and I have to say to you, my friend, your team's getting old, and they had no draft picks the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, no, they got
And-
get rid of them for McCaffrey.
And I hope they got some picks 4 through 7 today.
If anything, Purdy last year, when he came up, he was Mr. Irrelevant the year before.
Yep.
And for those who don't know what that means, Mr. Irrelevant is the individual, the absolute last pick, 256, I think is the number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rarely does anybody in that draft pick ever make a dent except for maybe being the water boy.
He made a dent.
He absolutely did. So there's always
Sorry.
no, that's right. I was gonna say there's always hope in later rounds.
Absolutely.
I did read like a crazy stat about Purdy. He's the first Mr. Irrelevant to even complete a forward pass in the NFL.
Oh, there, hence the
That
defense
says
rest, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, but here's the one. What do you think about the team drafting the kicker from Minnesota in the 3rd round?
Yeah, that was like one of the highest picks for a kicker in recent history. if
I know
recall.
who, and I watched that boy kick. You
Mhm.
know, some of the clips they were showing.
Mhm.
That boy don't miss. So I know who I'm picking on my fantasy team next year. Hell yeah!
One of my big name Penn Staters, Jerry Porter Jr.,
Yeah.
defensive
Yeah.
back, was drafted by the same team his dad played,
Pittsburgh
Steelers.
Yes.
So that'll be
Hey,
fun.
the
fun to
Giants had a good pick.
watch. They did. They drafted a center
Yeah.
and another defensive back.
They drafted well.
But I want to real quickly, let's talk about what happened before the draft started. Okay. Lamar Jackson finally signs with Baltimore.
5 years,
3rd highest guaranteed money. He went
160
something?
No,
Yeah, 165
One-
guaranteed.
Yeah.
165 or 185
No,
guaranteed.
165 because number 2 was your quarterback in Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
He had the record for about 10 days before, right? And then, of course, number 1 is
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, who was out of your football before he got that contract with guaranteed money.
The whole
That's
contract
insane.
guaranteed.
The whole contract is guaranteed. So that's big news for Baltimore. They got him back. And then,
Yes.
of course, for the Jets, man, Brett Favre, I did it again. Fuck! Aaron Rodgers, that same damn team in green.
And he talks about me.
I do that to make you feel good. Aaron Rodgers signs with the Jets, long anticipated signing.
Well,
One
now-
mistake they made, they were looking to originally draft a left tackle to protect his blind side, which they did not do. But they traded for a 40-year-old quarterback. As great as Aaron Rodgers is and might still be for another season or two, trading and signing a 40-year-old quarterback, I know it worked for Tom Brady. That's an
For 1
exception.
year.
For 1 year. In order to make this trade worth something, next year the Jets have to win it all.
Not happening. You gotta get to Buffalo, and that's not happening.
I know. That's
You know the funny thing?
yes.
I got two things. The first one that I felt bad for was the quarterback out of Kentucky.
Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis.
Who didn't get drafted until the second round.
Pick, second round. They traded up to get him too.
He puts mayonnaise in his coffee. He shouldn't have been drafted at all.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what the hell?
So, and the other thing is they didn't give up all that much to get Rodgers. Okay.
They gave up a handful of draft picks, which one of them is
It's a conditional
pick based on he has to play 65% of the snaps or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he can't play 65% of the snaps, you don't trade for a guy then in the first
I
place.
don't-
in
I-
my
As
opinion.
long as he's
And I
healthy,
don't-
he'll do it. But
And I
anything can happen.
I don't disagree with you.
Right.
But your comment about having to get through Buffalo, anything can happen on any given day.
I think there's a movie named that.
All right.
Or was any given Sunday?
So don't say they got to go through Buffalo.
I will say that we go through Buffalo every single day.
Well, you can fucking say whatever you want.
On that
I
note,
really
coming from a
don't
Buffalo
care.
Bills fan, what else would you expect him to say?
Exactly.
Great show today, guys. Absolutely love the conversation on the draft. Everything today was terrific, and everybody out there chatting with us. Great stuff today. Let's wrap it up because I think the quarter's running out of the meter. So, Mr. Matt, final thoughts for the day, sir.
Everybody have a good, safe week. Stay cool out there. It's going to start to warm up. And now with Jerry Springer dead, Maury Povich is retired. Some of you women are going to have to figure out who your own baby daddies are. Have a great week.
Tucker Carlson. Oh, my God.
Tucker Carlson. That's a good one.
Oh, my goodness.
Damn. Never mind. Hey, folks, y'all just have a great week. For us out here, let's watch the Heat this week. You please stay hydrated down on Fremont. It's going to be hot as shit. Like I said, 96 today, 98 tomorrow. It's going to be in the high 80s all next week, and then we go back down in the 70s, I believe. But this coming week, stay hydrated, everybody, please.
Always stay hydrated. Thomas.
Be safe and just have a great week.
There you have it. Quick programming note for next week's show here. Our interview with the Savannah Bananas will be airing during the show next week. We've been talking about them since like November, courtesy of Ronald Young.
Ronald, make sure you're here next week.
And we do have two.
Do not be here.
They won 5-4 over Tampa.
Yes. And they were losing 4-1 early on in that game. So that interview will be aired. We, due to scheduling and their availability, Chief and I did an interview with them earlier this week. John is cleaning it up, and we'll air that next week because they're going to be in Vegas in 2 weeks.
Huh?
So hope you have your tickets, because if you don't, you ain't going. Or you can watch it. But we did learn it'll be on YouTube. It's on the Savannah Bananas YouTube channel.
Yes, it is.
Join me in an hour. If you guys all remember Snapple, Wendy, the Snapple lady from those commercials in the 80s, Wendy Kaufman will be joining me. She is in town. She'll be joining me at high noon on my show, so you're not going to want to miss that. We have a clip of an old commercial, which also involves a dear friend, Mr. Peter Papa Giorgio, on that show. So with that, guys.
Papa who?
Peter Papa Giorgio.
Peter Papa Giorgio.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Vegas Vacation. The son went in. He was Nick Papa Giorgio.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, and then I met Peter for the first time, I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Who the hell's Nick Papa Giorgio?
It was the character's name on Vegas Vacation, the Chevy Chase movies. Educate him, would you please? Thank you for watching, everybody. Be kind, everybody, to everybody we have out there. Why? Because we're all we have. See you next time on Thoughts Count Anywhere. Have a great week, everybody.